Hey there, welcome back to Conjuredcraft. I've got a wall now, which I'm pretty excited, but that is not the subject of this video. This time around, my friend Sean from Uncle Frogface, he partnered up with me and we made a pair of weird cosmic horror mirrors, portals. We're still struggling to figure out a name, but it's something that I've had in my head for a while as an idea, and I really needed to get it out. And so, yeah, let's get started. To kick things off, I found this pair of frames from a local thrift shop for $2 each. I wanted to actually use them as frames one day, so I knew that I would be molding and casting whatever I ended up sculpting. This meant the first thing to do was to clean one of them up and prepare it for some clay. Now I'm using a blend of Chavant clay, which is perfect for not only filling all the gaps between my frame and my sculpting block, but it won't stick to the silicone later on. If you've ever wondered what the NSP stands for on blocks of clay, it's non-sulfurated plastiline or non-sulfur phosphate, depending on who you ask. But basically, the clay doesn't have any sulfur in it, which means it reduces the chance that it will stick to the silicone later on. Bringing back out my dollar store skulls, which I've used in the past for other projects, I'm finally sacrificing them this time around to save me some time on sculpting. Once I'm happy with the pose, fill in any holes, and get the rest of the mouth sculpted up, I can use a heat gun to smooth the surface, which is another great benefit of Chavant. From there, I cleared my work surface, and it was time to make a mold box and start pouring some rubber. All the silicone and resin I use is purchased locally here in New Zealand. I don't have a pressure pot or a vacuum chamber, and my castings come out good enough for me. If you're interested, I have another video on molding and casting where I talk a lot about my anxieties with, well, molding and casting. The first cast came out pretty much perfect after taking my time and getting my resin up to temperature. I made a few more and decided I would prime 2 for painting. The first one would be an experiment to emulate the original wooden frame, and I would leave the face on the inside a reflective metal finish, like a proper mirror. For the wood, I slowly built the colors up from a black primer using a burnt sienna mixed with black paint. Once I had the right base color, I used a pure burnt sienna, originally painting streaks, but then smearing the paint with my finger to get a more natural grain. I didn't capture this very well on camera, but it does look pretty flash in person. Now for the other casting, I decided to go in a very different direction for me. I started with a base coat of purple, pink, and teal, and then punched the colors up with some neon paints. If I wanted one of my colors to appear lighter, I would add pink or yellow to it, rather than dulling it down with white. And inversely, when I wanted it to be darker, I would add the purple or teal. By not using any black on the mouth and just a small amount of white in highlighting, this helped create a very vibrant looking nightmare. From there, I spent many nights playing around with the highlights, finally adding a gloss coat, and then it was finally time to show it off to Sean. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how these turned out, especially the psychedelic, vibrant color one. Now, if you also thought this project was cool and would like your own, I'm actually going to be giving one away to someone who, well, comments on a post that I share on Instagram. Let's call this a special surprise for those of you who actually watched all the way through to the end. You don't need to follow me or anything else like that. Just go find me on Instagram, comment on the post where I talk about these little frames, and yeah, I'll ship you one. A special thank you, as always, to all of my patrons, but this time around, a very special thank you to my 2 newest patrons, Greg and Berserker Works. Finally, if you haven't gone to see Sean's video already, please do. His project is completely different from mine, even though we started with the same concept, and honestly, it's really cool. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.